I'm going to say it because people will lose their shit if either one of you says it. This is one of the reasons why black women are single, y'all. Black women look at men, and Pearl, you said it earlier, not that you added race into it, but I'm putting race into it. Kevin Samuels talks about this all the time. When black women think about being in a relationship of any sort with black men, they think about it from a standpoint of fear, scarcity, and lack. Remember the girl who wanted a $200,000 engagement ring? Well, there was another part of that interview that really, really caught my attention. We're going to listen to that, and then we're going to listen to that. Then we're going to talk about that a little bit. Then we're going to listen to a part of the Fresh and Fit podcast. This is going to highlight why these kinds of women are single. So, and this is going to be very short on Pearl's video. So away we go.
It's actually BS.
You think that's BS?
Yes. After seeing that whole thing, the podcast that you were on and seeing that whole drama, I'm sorry, bro.
The podcast, I guess, was Fresh and Fit. Is that the one she was talking about, Pearl?
Yeah, she was talking about Fresh and Fit.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But this is something else. It's now that a lot of guys are saying that they want traditional women, and then they don't value the money and all that other stuff. I've now come up with a theory that the only reason why they want these traditional women that do not have money is so that they can have the ability to leave these women at will and have them destitute. Because
even the black girl looks shocked. She's like, oh, shit.
Especially now with the whole Texas ban of the abortion laws and stuff, and seeing these guys are just like cheering. Thank God we can have you barefoot and pregnant back in the kitchen and not working anymore. At first, I thought that money thing didn't really matter, but I'm starting to realize, no, these guys just want the ability to leave you high and dry and then laugh in your face.
Wow, leave you high and dry and laugh in your face. So, Pearl, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on her theory that the reason why we as men want traditional women is to give ourselves leverage so that we can walk out, leave them barefoot and pregnant, and just say, ha, we knocked you up and we're out of here? What are your thoughts on that? That seems a little extreme. Am I wrong?
To me, it just really showed, like, it was more negative on her because it shows how she views the world.
Right.
Like, your first instinct is if a guy wants something, that it's negative, that he wants it to hold it over your head.
There you go.
And it's really an inability to see someone else's point of view, to be honest.
Okay. So it's not your opinion. It's not your opinion that the reason why men want traditional women isn't because we just want the leverage and just to be able to kick bitches out anytime we want.
No, I mean, I think they want someone to raise their kids.
Okay. All right.
So.
What about you, Dev? Do you agree or disagree?
Well, looking at the stats as far as divorce, I think it's more likely that she's going to leave him, not he's going to leave her. I mean, this is really it really is a negative outlook, and it's really the essence behind the strong, independent woman movement of feminism. Just saying I can't trust anybody. I have to rely 100% on myself, when really life is a partnership. Creating a family is a partnership. And it's kind of convoluted, It's just, I think this is a fear-based rationale.
There you go. So I'm going to say it because people will lose their shit if either one of you says it. This is one of the reasons why black women are single, y'all. Black women look at men, and Pearl, you said it earlier, not that you added race into it, but I'm putting race into it. Kevin Samuels talks about this all the time. When black women think about being in a relationship of any sort with black men, they think about it from a standpoint of fear, scarcity, and lack. There's never it's very rarely positive. If I get with this guy and I am traditional, then he can or will leave me. While that's true, that's not the reason men want traditional women. It's because what Pearl said. Men want traditional women because they want them to stay home and raise the kids. If she's out being a boss bitch and she's got all this career stuff and this and that and the third, she's not going to be as good a mom, number one. Number two, her time is going to be compromised by her career. The bossier the bitch you are, the worse a parent you are. That's just how it is. We even talked about this on our live stream yesterday, Pearl. we acknowledge that if you're a man and you want to be ultra successful and be a CEO and all this other kind of stuff, you're going to have to understand you are going to have to make sacrifices. Your time, your health, your marriage probably isn't going to be that good. Your kids will probably hate you, but guess what? You'll be able to send them to the finest schools. You'll be able to pay for their education. And maybe one day they'll understand, okay, I now understand why dad was away all the time. And so it's really not so bad. What are your thoughts on that, Pearl?
Well, I think women want to have everything, and you can't have everything. Everything in life comes with a cost. Everything
Right.
in life comes with a trade-off. And I think a lot of times girls take it personally when guys say they want traditional women if they don't fit that.
Okay.
And that's where you kind of see the reaction that she's having.
Why do you think she has this reaction?
Well, she probably like doesn't fit that.
Okay.
Like she probably doesn't fit that typical traditional wife.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I don't know what her marriage is like.
She probably doesn't really have a a marriage. I've actually got you on the big screen now. I should have thought of that a little bit earlier. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch a Fresh and Fit clip. This is gonna be along the same lines, and again, I will point out to you that this is actually a sentiment shared not only by black women, but it's going to be the black woman who really presses Fresh on this. Now I need my keyboard again. Sorry about this, guys. I didn't really think this all the way through. There we go. Let me go ahead and put Pearl back where she was before. Yeah, I'm just doing some experimentation here, guys. Really working on the production side, but so far so good. So let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and bring this up here. Breakdown scene, perfect. Pearl is still looking good. Okay, here we are. Watch and listen.
Okay, so it sounds like you kind of want a stay-at-home wife. You're like, oh, someone to take out my dog. You know, I got you if we're going on trips. Like, what if she has her own like career? You know, like she has her own thing going on. And she can't take out your dog or whatever, but she has the personality. She checks off all the boxes. Like, do you want someone that you can take care of? Or, like, is it attractive to you that she has her own thing going?
So let me stop it right there. What they're doing is they're quizzing Fresh on his preferences. The question was, hey, what do you want in a woman? Of course, when Fresh talked about what he wants in a woman, in typical female fashion, they try to berate him for his preferences, while we as men have to accept it. They, as women, think that they can call this stuff into question, just to give you guys a little context.
No, my thing is like, okay, I do want someone that isn't going to be bothering me the whole time. Obviously, I have her own thing going. However, like, if I had to choose, like, okay, are you helping me with our business together, like me and you, or is it like you're doing your own thing and like you don't take for me at all? Like, that's another downside to see. Because, for example, a woman that has her own shit going, she might not have time to like, cater to you or be with you. That's another thing that guys don't really like, because, like, for example, I want to I can go out with, have fun with, but like, she's not always gonna be occupied with her shit. If that makes sense.
What if she has her own business?
Right.
You know, like girl boss.
Like nobody
go.
can't just be
It's a double-edged sword.
just falling to your toes for you,
Right.
ready there to tie your shoe.
So
like,
Did you hear that? So the black girl says nobody's just going to be there to fall and do this to tie your shoe. So anytime black women in particular hear the word cater to your man or do something for the specific intent of pleasing your man, it is always a negative reaction. Let's finish this out.
I just recently owned my own business, and honestly,
Okay, so now you guys are about to see the difference between black women and white women. Listen, neither of these two ladies are making this racial. I'm making it racial. What you guys are about to see, you guys already heard half of the reason why 76% of black women are unmarried. You're about to find out why it's higher in other, let's say, communities.
if I have a man who can take care of me, I'll quit my business right now.
Really?
Yeah,
I would
why
not
would I
do
quit my
that.
business
Nothing.
for? Are you serious? I would love to be a, housewife.
Yeah.
I would
I will
never
be a
love to
housewife.
depend-
However,
Yeah.
once
I would never love to depend on any man at all.
Agreed.
There it is. So black woman says, I had never loved to depend on any man at all.
Exactly,
At
because they
all.
could leave.
Agreed.
Exactly, because they can leave. And of course, what have we established, class, is that women in relationships better 9 times out of 10.
At all.
it's not about that though. You can
What's that?
They want to make sure that they can leave.
Yes, that's exactly what this is. And you can actually elaborate on that because you stole my thought there.
money, especially now with crypto. You can be a millionaire, billionaire if you're smart.
Listen to this.
You
See?
just have to will in,
There you
and
go.
you have your money. Make money. You don't have to actively be there working.
But
So if I can make money like that, and if I can be 24/7 with my men, hell yeah, I'll do it.
But you just work so hard to get your business. You gonna quit it for a nigga to just give you money?
Because
Yes. Sounds
There
like,
you go.
Sounds like a pretty
There you
good
go.
deal to me.
Okay, so answer her question. You worked so hard to build this business. You just gonna quit it for a nigga to just give you money? Pearl, would you do that? Yes or no?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Like my YouTube channel, you think?
No. YouTube is something you can do at home. So what she's
Oh.
talking about, yeah, anything, because again, remember the other girl is talking about, hey, listen, there's other ways to make money, crypto. There's so many businesses you can do from home. So you could run your YouTube channel and still have a man to cater to.
Well, I think they just automatically insinuate like ill intent or like
There you go.
like with the guy. Like if you're dating him, he's not gonna want to make your life hell. if you're passionate
go.
about something, it's not like he's gonna hold a gun to your head and say you have to help with my business, but it's about working with a guy and being helpful. Like that's all men are asking for half the time. It's
That's
just to be
right.
helpful.
To be helpful and non-combative. Dev, you had a 6-figure paying job. I told you you're quitting your job and you're going to work for me. Is that a decision you regret?
Man, I would have done it sooner if I owned my own business. I mean, like these women are speaking from like a very privileged place. Most people can't afford to not work.
Right.
Nonetheless, own their own business. If you
Right.
can own your own business, you're doing pretty dang good. You
That's right.
know, like yes, you're working probably more than you would be at a 9 to 5, but you're in a better, more powerful position as far as when to set your hours, when to make yourself available for your man,
If
things
you-
like that.
So
if I can
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, I was just saying, okay, this is my thoughts.
Okay.
Men, when they get into a relationship, okay, and they're one of their biggest concerns about getting married and having children is that is that the children will take away a lot of the attention and stuff that he's getting, not
Right.
like in a childish way, but in just a focal way.
Right.
Okay, she's now her time is split between the however many children we have and me. Of course, the children come first. Then you get her working full time. Now her priorities. Now there's another stumbling block between you and your husband. Rather than the way it should be is women put their husband, their family, the foundation of the family first, which is your relationship with your husband, and it's you two against the world.
There you go.
Then come your children. Then come jobs, because jobs will come and go. Family is something that cannot be duplicated or replaced. So, like these women, like they're lucky to say, hey, if I have a business, at least I can alter my timetable or my schedule so that I'm available for when he needs me, rather than saying, okay, I have a 9 to 5 job, I can't do whatever you do. Like if these chicks want to date fresh and they're working a 9 to 5 job and they have to be in bed by 10 o'clock at night, in order to
when
get
do they
up
have-
at 7,
Yeah.
then how are they even going to spend time with him if he sleeps all day?
That's a good point.
So I don't know. Like that's just a poor example, but if your schedules don't work, you're not going to be compatible. Period.
Pearl, you had something to add to that?
Well, I was just thinking that my mom was a teacher and she quit that to work for my dad.
There we
And
go.
then they built a multi-million-dollar business.
There you go.
And they made a lot more money than she would have made at that teaching job.
Wow. Let's listen to this part one more time.
make money like that, and if I can be 24/7 with my men, hell yeah, I'll do it.
but you just work so hard to get your business. You gonna quit it for a nigga to just give you money?
Because
See, that's the problem with her mindset as well. For a nigga, she's not talking about men. She's talking about niggas. So already it's the way black women view relationships. They already go into it thinking of ill intent. They're thinking, okay, I got to get over on him before he gets over on me. I got to be able to leave him before he leaves me. And Devin, you said it earlier. The reason why women want to be boss bitches, they say it's just in case anything happens and he can just up and leave. What they really want to be able to do are two things. The first thing is they want an excuse to focus on something other than their man or their relationship. The second reason is just like Dev said, so that they can leave. Pearl, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think women want to be boss bitches and in the back of their minds they're thinking, okay, the real reason I want to be a boss bitch is so I don't have to be up under this nigga all the time and I can just kind of leave when I want? Or do they just want to be boss bitches?
Well, it's a lack of control.
There you go.
If you're working for him, who's in control? It's not you.
It's him,
Who gets to make all the decisions? It's him.
Right.
And if you want like a top guy, that's just how it is. Those guys don't enjoy giving up control. So
it's not. Well, here's the thing. Just like we talked about, everything has costs.
Right.
If a man takes you off the market and he says, "All right, you no longer have to work. You work for me now. You never have to worry about bills." Guess what? That's a fantastic life for women. The trade-off is that you are relinquishing control, which is something the girl on the left clearly is not interested in doing.
Do these women even know how rare it is to even find someone who can make enough money to take you off the job market?
Apparently not. They haven't. Listen, they haven't busted out the female delusion calculator
Boy, give them
yet.
5 years.
Plus, there's a million average guys you can date that if you don't want to do that, like go find a guy that's not fresh. It's not that big of a deal.
I agree.
Yes, and the fact that she phrased it like that in that very demeaning term,
yes,
is just shows that she has no respect for men whatsoever.
Nope.
And I also think it's part of the competitive mentality where they feel like instead of working with their husband or whoever they choose to partner with, they're competing with them.
That's right.
So the better she's doing, the better of a man that she needs to be doing because he's got to make more than she does, and it keeps that hypergamy engine rolling.
That's right. That's right. And you want to know what the tragic thing about this is? This girl, this black girl on the left, beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. She's
Very
young.
pretty.
She's beautiful. She could date white guys if she wanted to, but she has this mentality.
Because if he's giving me, it's not about money. It's not about money at all. It's not about money. It's about the providing. Either he provides me security, safety, comfort, all of that.
But like, don't you want to do your
tomorrow.
own thing?
Hey, ladies,
But don't you want to do your own thing? Again, they want all of the benefits without any of the costs. If you were listen, if you want to be with the average guy and be if you want to do your own thing and be able to have a say and be a boss bitch, you're going to have to lower your standards and expectations. But women don't want to do that. They want to be the boss bitch and still be with the boss nigga. And I'm trying to tell you, boss niggas ain't trying to get with boss bitches. Pearl?
No, I absolutely agree. And they keep arguing as if they don't have the choice to just date a normal guy.
Right.
What percent of guys even own their own business and are going to hire you?
This is called
Would you say?
Sorry, go ahead. Jesus Christ, very, very low. This is called entitlement. These women are assuming that men who have their own businesses and can make the kind of money to take a woman, to retire a woman from work, they're assuming that these guys want to pick them. And they're making assumptions. Do you think they're making assumptions, Dev, or?
Oh yeah, they're completely in la la land.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, do you think they're in La La Land because they get? I can't see them on the screen. I just hear it.
Sure.
Do you think it's because are they that hot? Do they do you think they could?
Like two of them, maybe.
Listen, the girl that's talking about, the black girl, she's beautiful. The white girl who says I would leave my pharmacist job, she's also beautiful. She's very attractive. There's another black girl on the left of the white girl, on the white girl's right. She's attractive and she's young. Then there's another black girl to the left of the white girl. Not so. 2 out of these 3 women are young and beautiful. So
do you think?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
do you think even with that attitude that they have, do you think they still could, like, just based on their looks, get swooped up by a guy like that?
Nope.
Based on what you've seen? No? Yeah, okay.
Nope, not a chance. Listen, you can look as good. They can look as good as they want, but in the end, if somebody is really going to wife them up or take them seriously, they cannot have this attitude. It doesn't matter how.
Or that mouth.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, Jesus fucking Christ.
Number 1, let her finish her point. Number 2, if you want to ask her a question, that's fine, but one at a time. Don't all pile in on her and hurt the quality of the show. One mic at a time.
No, I just personally think that maybe it's because I come from a third world country, right? In my country.
She comes from a third world country. You pick up a little bit on her accent. I've said this. I say this all the time. I actually got this from Andrew Tate. The poorer the country is, the closer that country adheres to traditional and conventional gender roles. Romania is not a third world country, but I don't think it's a first world country either. I guess you can call it a second world country. In third world, only in America, only in the West, where feminism is a stronghold and we have this booming economy, only in this part of the world can women act like this. Only in this part of the world can women actually talk about being boss bitches. Move to Romania, move to Cuba. your mindset changes because of course you don't have all of these resources. Pearl, do you agree or disagree with the first world, third world mentality?
Yeah, I grew up with nannies that were like from all over the world.
Oh wow.
And I would say like you're typically correct. The closer to a third world country, the more traditional they tend to be. And I'm also on a team with like girls from all over the world too. So yes, I would
okay.
agree. Yeah.
And so the girls that are on your team, do they tend to skew towards more traditional gender roles, or are they kind of strong and independent like American girls?
I mean, I guess I would say a little bit closer to Americans for the majority because most are from either like Germany, England, like places that are more European and like closer towards America. But the one or two that are from like countries that are closer to third world countries, I would say are more traditional and like cook, clean, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Okay, so Lyric Signal 94 said she's from Albania. Yeah, she does say that. Dev, what do you think? Do you agree with the third world, first world comparison in terms of traditional gender roles?
I think that plus the fact that they're young. I mean, all these girls are brought up with especially the westernized girls, are brought up with this thinking that they have to make their mark on the world, and it's what they can accomplish solely by themselves is what's going to make their lives important or not.
You want to know how you make a mark on the world is you give a man a legacy. Like, I don't think these women
create
understand.
a beautiful family.
Yeah, I don't think these women understand how much a family alters the world a hell of a lot more than a boss bitch that has a bunch of businesses could. Am I wrong?
An eyelash extension business isn't going to have a lasting effect on the planet. That combined with the fact that the more old school third world type people tend to be more traditional is because that was how you made it in life.
That's right.
And for these women to think that it makes them powerless, I think, if anything, that's your golden ticket. I mean, could you imagine? And I was trying to explain this to my niece the other day. She's like, I don't know what I want to do in college. What should I study? What kind of career do you think I should have? And I said, look, you have your whole entire life to have a career, but you only have a small window of time to create a family.
That's right.
So, you need to focus on what's more important to you at this point. Do you want to, become a doctor and make that your life's work? Or do you want to I want to have a family. Well, then
there you
put
go.
yourself in position to maintain your value and find someone who has the same type of goals, And then once you have your family and they're grown up, you can have their whole rest of your life to have a career.
There you go. Pearl?
No, I definitely agree with what you said, where a family is going to be more of a legacy than a business or a job. Because when I think of my family, there's 10 of us, right?
Okay.
If we all have 5 kids, that's 50 people.
Woo! Wow. Yes. Right.
Or even if we only have 2, say
still
each,
20
that's
people.
20 people.
Yeah.
And then they have and then that's a huge, legacy that you're leaving the world. That's going to be bigger than, unless you're. How smart are you? Like, how big of a business
are you? Madam Curie? Yeah, what are you, Madam Curie?
Like, even the smartest people on Earth, their businesses can be gone in one generation,
right,
but a family can't.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can kill a business. You can't kill a family unless you're wanted by the mob.
The way it works in my family, my parents are still together. They've been together for 27 years. Obviously, it hasn't been perfect, but I have that ideal family or how a family should function, right? So, for example, in my family, it works for you to not have 2 leaders. You only have 1 leader. Either that's the man or the female, but it's up on the family, whichever one you decide. In my family, in my eyes, I think the man should be it, right? I don't expect me to work and then like my man just raising the kids. No, I expect my man to provide. Unfortunately, it comes down to money because that's just how it is right now.
There you go.
But no, 100% I would stay home and raise the kids.
And by the way, the woman that is talking, Pearl, she has her own business. She is a pharmacist. She's a pharmacist.
Wow.
Yeah, she has her own pharmacy business, and she makes into the 6 figures. And she said right here, right now, of course I would give it all up.
It always seems to be that way because the girls that make a lot of money tend to know what it takes to make that money.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
And they realize that they would much rather do like nothing. Well, I don't want to say nothing because you're doing all the stuff at home, but like less than that, if that makes sense.
You would rather spend your time and energy working for your
Yeah.
family and putting it into that rather
Yeah.
than just for random strangers or
making
the
somebody
boss
else
man.
rich.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Can I
They
say
cook for
something?
you.
Both
and,
of you?
course.
Most guys don't want to date a boss babe. Just keeping it.
Uh-oh.
I want to say
That is
something
true.
to
Of course.
that effect. I think also ethnically, a lot of I mean, I relate to you in the sense of like growing up. My mom is an executive chef. Like she's a boss ass woman. She is an executive chef at like this big restaurant in West Palm. Growing up, traditionally like in Hispanic households, a lot like what you were saying, my dad probably picked my mom for her looks, blah blah blah, what have you. She was stay-at-home mom, but not necessarily in the like, oh, I'm relying on him for money, because he did provide all of the money and we were financially very well off prior to the
See?
recession. She actually was an asset to his to his business. So like you being a boss, like you can be a boss babe under your man's company as well. It's, you know, you don't have to do two completely separate things. I feel like
Merch.
we got that law passed back in, I don't know, 1800s, that women can vote, and I feel like we should use our rights, and I feel like we should be bosses, and it should not always be a man being a boss. I feel like women should be bosses, and y'all both can do it. I don't feel like one just is supposed to do it and you're supposed to help your. No, I feel like both can do it. I don't feel like a woman should be I don't feel like a woman should depend on a nigga at all. I feel like a woman, what a nigga does for you is supposed to be a bonus. And that's just supposed to, whatever bonus y'all get, y'all can do it together. But you still have your stuff on the side. You still have your business that you work for. And you still have your own thing going. I don't believe in you sitting there and letting a nigga take care of you at all. That could be a plus. He could still take care of you. I still want a nigga to take care of me.
You're
but I have
misunderstood.
my
No,
stuff
no,
on
no.
the
You're
side.
changing the conversation how you want it to fit for you. I did not say that at all. I didn't say
You
that.
said you'll quit your business.
I will quit my business if a man will.
He's taking care of you.
Women should have the choice to do either or.
Again, it's not about the money.
boss
It's
babe
about
mentality.
if I want to be with that guy, right? I cannot be committed to him 100% if I have a business to run, if I have clients.
Bingo! And that is the message. So you see, Pearl, you see the difference in mindset. You have one woman who's like, hey, look, check this out. I'm already a boss bitch. And I think it's what Pearl said. This woman is a pharmacist. She knows how hard it is. Honestly, she probably works 50, 60 hours per week. She's thinking of the big picture. I would rather be with a man who takes care of me so I can take care of him. But the other woman simply does not want to, it's almost like she's fearful of relying on a man. Pearl, in your opinion, why are women like this so hesitant to rely on a man when they are leaving relationships better than 90% of the time?
Maybe the men that they've dated they couldn't rely on, or maybe the men that raised them, or the men in their life, is what I've noticed. Like most of the girls that I've talked to that have like a very negative view on men, there's a reason, and they kind of take that out on they make every man that they meet pay for it.
Wow. Dev, your opinion. Why are some women, hey, listen, I'll give up my business to cater to a man, while other women are like, nah, I'm not catering to no man. I don't give a damn. I don't need him. I don't want to have to rely on anybody.
Yeah, it shows a lack of stability and even in a mindset. I have 2 points. The first is that I wonder if this mindset comes from more of a cultural background where it's not a matter of if but when the man leaves, whether the mother leaves the father, or the father leaves the mother, or the father ends up in jail or something systematic. So these fallbacks are kind of necessary in order to, maintain order in your own home. I think that it's a forced independent thinking.
Okay. Your second point?
The second point, I should write these down.
Oh, don't sweat it. I'll continue it, and if you can think of it, we'll get back.
I actually have one more thing I wanted to add.
Okay.
Go ahead, Pearl.
Okay. Do you think that a girl that worked for 20 years, let's say like the worst happened and they got left at 45, right? Who do you think would be more likely to find someone, the one who was married and stayed home for 20 years, or the one who worked for 20 years?
That's a very good question. I think the woman who is more likely to find someone, boy, that's it's a double-edged sword. It really, really is. I will say this: if, and I tell Dev this all the time, if I decide that we need to go our separate ways, I'm going to make sure she's okay financially. There's no contractual, no. That's just me doing the right thing. If I decide, you know what, Dev, it's not going to work, but Dev's been with me, like, she's been a ride or die for me for now 4.5 years. That counts for something. So financially, I'm going to make sure she's taken care of no matter what. That's the least I can do for her being with me and doing what she did for me. Now, if she cheats, then she's on her own. But that's a very, I can't really answer that. What do you think, Dev? Who do you think has a better chance of getting wifed up? And then you can talk about your point that you're going to bring up earlier.
Sure. I think, I mean, what is more likely to get adopted? Okay, a dog in a shelter that's been there for 3 months, or someone, a family that you know looking to give away a puppy or a dog that they've had for 5 years.
Probably the latter.
Right,
Yeah.
because one has been proven to be established in a family setting. And, you know, so basically what I'm trying to say is if I hadn't had the experience of the previous 20 years that I had, would I have ever even have been ready to enter a relationship like the one that we have?
No, not a chance.
Yes, and from what I did come from, there was a huge learning curve to begin with.
Sure.
So if I had been, you know, running around for the last 15, 20 years before we met, there's no way I would have been able to, you know, even learn how to take care of you or anticipate needs or even understand and get out of that selfish, you know, thinking. So I feel like merch. Oh yeah, my other point was that this girl thinks that she needs to have, the girl on the right here, she thinks that she needs to have that side hustle, that, you know, that other business. She wants to, you know, she can have her man, have her family, and her business. But 15 years, 10 years from now, when she's burnt out, unhappy, the only person who's going to pay is her husband and her kids.
That's right.
And then it will be her. When she burns all of those other bridges, then she's going to realize, oh, wait, having it all has a cost. Having it all doesn't make me happy.
Yes.
There is a balance that has to take place here. And by then she'll be too old to really understand and appreciate what she had.
Wow. So Pearl, I guess now that I've heard Dev's answer, the answer to that question is the woman who got left at 45 after being married for 20 years. I think she has a better chance of finding another guy or another husband, because that was almost the exact same scenario with Dev, and even Dev was married for nearly 20 years. And even though the marriage sucked, I'm sure the marriage wasn't all bad, but the marriage eventually ended. So there were obviously issues. But she was in a relationship for almost 2 decades. That counts for something. Whether I don't know what happened because I wasn't there, but I know that at the very least she had the stick-to-itiveness to stick with her now ex-husband. I guess through thick and thin. Eventually, it became too much for whatever reason. I'm not gonna speculate on that. But Devin had the requisite relationship skills to be able to undergo the training that I put her through. So my answer is the 45-year-old woman who's been married for 20 years instead of riding the carousel and working for 20 years.
Well, and that was my thought too, that these girls are acting in a way that they think it's going to protect themselves, and I don't think it would. No. And the reasoning I had this question was I had an aunt. My aunt was on my channel once, and she's like she's a very feminine, like very she's been married for a long time, and a lot of the comments said like even if she was single tomorrow, even though she's older and she has kids, like she would get swooped up like that because she's just so feminine and just motherly.
There you go. Listen, being a boss bitch quite literally strips you of all femininity, because in order to be a boss, you have to exhibit masculine traits on the regular. Let's finish this out.
Kids, if I have this, I can't, you know? So in order for me to be an example mother, I want to be a mother, you know, to me, that's my success. As a female, if I have created a family, to me, that's what success is. It's not about money. It's not about a business. I mean, obviously, it's great because I'm in Miami, taking advantage of the city. I think I'm smart for the age that I am. So I have to take advantage of all of this. But if I had the man to tell me, like, you know, and he fits the type of man that I know would take care of me emotionally, spiritually, physically, then I would 100%, like, right now, quit. Damn. Because, again, I will help him in whatever it is that he needs to provide for me. This is how I see it. As long as I am keeping my man inspired, he will always be giving me 10 times more, right? So I don't mind being submissive to my man. Like I really don't, you know. I just need to inspire him, for him to bring the masculinity, for me, like the protection, everything I need to be taken care of. And yeah, I do my job.
understand, but I just disagree.
Wow. So what are your thoughts on that? That she sounds, and again, this is the traditional type woman. This woman just laid it out. Hey, if he fits the bill, I would leave my job, career, whatever for him.
Devin, I'm curious if you find this to be true. Have you ever noticed, like, in a relationship that the less you expect and ask for, the more you get?
She actually stepped out to tinkle.
Oh.
So she'll be right back.
Because that's kind of what I thought of when she was talking.
Okay.
But if you're
Pearl had a question for you, Dev.
Okay.
Yep, put on the headphones. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Devin, I'm just curious if you found this to be true in a relationship. I found that the less I ask for and the less I expect or like demand from a guy, the more I tend to get.
Ooh. Yeah, expectations can really bite you in the you-know-what.
Mm-hmm.
I think that all depends on the amount of time and what you personally have invested. So, I mean, I don't think that we would be where Donovan and I would be where we are if I hadn't expressed and put forth effort and did things that I didn't even know I was doing at the time. So, yeah. Sorry, I just ran up the stairs.
Yeah, I understand. Let's finish this out.
Question. Quick.
Drop the mic. Yeah, she hit a lot of facts.
So, you had something that you want to say, and I see that you had your hand too. So go ahead.
I don't know. I just feel like I was in a relationship
Merch.
a few years ago, and I was kind of like that. This was before I started my Twitch stream and everything, and I was just so into the relationship, and he had his own things going, and I was always catering to him, and I got fucking bored, and I was like, I need a hobby.
Because he was a beta male. That's why
Yeah,
you got bored.
he fucking.
Oh, wow. Albanian chick is dropping the knowledge. God,
He was a real
damn.
man. I mean,
And that's probably fair. He fucking sucked. But at the end of the day, I feel like, yeah, maybe you don't need a business. Like, you can be the mother of his children and depend on him finacially. But, like, you need a fucking hobby where you're going to be sitting in the house.
I'm not just saying you should sit at
taking
home and do
Percocets,
nothing. No,
like,
Percocets. Whoa. So what are your thoughts on a hobby? Pearl. Okay, so I understand where Party Voice Girl is kind of coming from. She's using she's using the hobby as sort of a gateway drug, but assuming that the hobby keeps her at home, keeps her faithful, keeps her, feminine, kind, docile to her man, what are your thoughts on hobbies to keep, I guess, the wife from being bored?
Well, it's like they always assume ill intent. Like he's a dictator who wants you to have nothing.
Right.
If Devin wanted to take guitar lessons, would you care?
It depends. The guitar teacher.
I already know how to play guitar.
Oh yeah, you already knew how to. Well, if Dev wanted to take guitar lessons, number one, the guitar lessons would have to be here. Number two, her instructor would have to be female. But other than that, yeah, I would not have a problem with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they assume these guys like want you to have nothing, and like they just want control over you. It's just ill intent. That's what I see.
No, I totally agree. Let me ask Dev. Dev, I am a totalitarian dictator. That is the way I am. Talk to the audience about the life you live as a result of my totalitarian dictatorship.
My life is great. I can do whatever I want to do. We go bowling together, and we,
bowling
we
is
actually
fun.
both happen to be pretty good at bowling.
Wow.
I mean, there's nothing that I need or want to do that I can't do if I wanted to, and
So in other words, you live a good life, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing that, like, I'm not depriving you of anything.
No.
I'm not, so what this girl, see, and again, what this Party Voice girl here is, I was feminine and docile and I was all about him, but I got fucking bored. That's a her problem. That's a you problem, number one. Number two, it's just like the Albanian girl said. It's because I guess he wasn't I don't want to use
this woman doesn't know what it takes to actually run a successful household and
Yeah, of course
take
not.
care of people.
Right.
It is a full-time job, and if it's not and you're sitting at home bored, you're not doing it right.
That's right, and he's not demanding enough. If you're bored with your man, he's not demanding enough, and if he's not demanding enough, eventually you will get bored. So it's a self-fulfilling
Either
prophecy.
that or all the hobbies that she wants to do are conducive to cheating.
There we go.
I'm not allowed. Really?
Yeah, could it?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to go play singles or doubles tennis with someone who isn't your husband.
Yeah, right. Or hot yoga with a 6'4" ripped alpha Chad. Yeah, fuck that.
I want to say the brunt of her time is spent raising the family.
There we go.
You can have hobbies. You could do
Of
your thing.
course,
We're
I'm
just
not
saying,
saying you should be locked
if
at
you're-
home, do
if you're a
nothing.
boss
No,
babe,
absolutely not.
You can't serve two masters. Either you're serving your man, your family, or your career.
Why do I have to serve someone? Can't we just be partners in a relationship?
And here we go. Here we go.
It's a bad expression.
Why do I have to serve someone? Why is that a bad expression?
It's
Dev?
because if he said prioritize things.
Is that what he said? Hold
no,
on.
if he said prioritize, he
Mhm.
said you can't serve too much.
But guess
the
what?
word serve just triggers the heck
It is,
out
but
of
guess
people.
what, Devin? He's right. You can't serve two masters.
No, you can't.
You can either serve your career or your family,
Right.
and that's why the American marriage is is a shit show, because it is either one or the other. If a woman serves her man and her family, she's going to be a shitty career woman, and vice versa. What are your thoughts, Pearl? Can a woman serve two masters?
Yeah, date the bottom 80% of guys.
There we
Yeah.
go. There you go. So there.
Why is that? Why is that not an option? Like, go date a normal guy. You don't have to date a guy who wants you to, like, it's actually pretty easy to not date a guy that wants you to quit your job and hire you.
There you go. And that's and again, this is women being entitled, thinking they can have it all. They want the 6'4" nigga with the 6-foot dick, a 6-car garage who makes into the upper six figures, who also lets her do her. No, guys like that are not going to be good with that. They're not going to tell you what you can or can't do. They're just not going to wife you. That's all there is to it.
It's about unity. No, I agree. This is about
But that's
unity.
life.
Hold on.
We're all serving
There's
something.
no two CEOs. There's only one CEO or one boss, right? So if you have a career or job, you have two masters. Now, at some point, you got to choose. Either you
That's
work
right.
together on a business, which is like I want to say coexistent.
Look at the
or
black girl.
One or
Look
the
at
other.
her.
But to make it work, you got to choose one or the other.
I mean, aren't you guys together on a business, right? Like any partnership, it doesn't have to be one is higher than the other. It can be a 50-50 deal.
Oh,
We
see.
both raise.
Nope. That's the problem. It is not a 50-50 deal. The man is the leader. The man is the head. The man makes the final decision. Pearl, let me ask you something. Are you good? Are you okay? Because you're in the UK. You're going to school. You're a semi-pro volleyball player. Are you good with relinquishing that kind of control? Are you good with your boyfriend or potential husband having the final word? Or is that something that bristles you, maybe rubs you the wrong way?
What do you mean final word?
On decisions, you guys. Here's how Dev and I do it, right? So Devin will say, "Hey, Donovan, why don't we do X, Y, and Z?" I mean, if I want to do it, I'll say, "Yeah, let's do it." If I don't, I just say, "No, we're not going to do that." That's just all there is to it. Now, Dev might be disappointed. She might be upset, but she never shows it. She trusts my judgment because I have not led us astray yet at this point. My reputation precedes me. She sees my track record. That's why she relinquishes control. So I guess I'll repose the question to you. If you're with a guy that you love and respect, he's got a good track record. He's owned multiple businesses. Basically, maybe a Donovan part 2 or something like that. Would you be good with that?
Yeah, I would be good with that. I think dating someone, we'd have to have similar like values and goals.
Of course.
But yeah, assuming we had all of that, yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, very good. I don't have to ask Deb that because she does that now.
Raise the kids. We both do our chores. We both are human beings.
But
that respect
it
each
cannot
other.
be though. That you're saying you should
why
have two
not?
leaders.
Why not?
Because why don't you have two presidents in
Exactly.
running in America right now? You
But
can't.
But you have a
Right.
vice president.
Exactly. That's why you have a wife.
But in real life,
A vice president. The vice president is under the president.
that does not work.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and-
That's fair.
I just
and,
feel like if I'm a boss babe, I'm not
Merch.
looking for a relationship. I'm focused on myself. If I have my
Well, there we go. There it is. She's already made her choice. You can be a boss babe if you want. You can be a boss bitch. If you don't want to look for a relationship, you're going to be single, that's fine. That's your choice. But if you do want to be in a relationship, you got to take Pearl's advice and be like, hey, you're going to have to date the bottom 85% of men. And these girls are not trying to hear it.
business, I don't want.
Go ahead.
Well, and it's not like the bottom 80% of guys are terrible to date either. Like if a guy's making what, 60, 70K, that's not bad in the US. It's above average.
It's above average, but listen, man, girls want it all. They want the 6'4", they want them to be 6'6" with a 6-foot dick, making the upper six figures, and there's just not enough guys to go around.
I know, man. I'm just not trying to be a wife.
I don't know. I want a man. Business, no business. I think a female
I'm trying to go to Washington to marry myself, actually.
Unbelievable.
Let's do that.
Unbelievable. So that was another black. So the black women on the stage, and you guys can stay out of this because I know you guys are uncomfortable with talking about race relations. But gentlemen, what you just saw on your screen on this video, this is the difference between white girls and black women. White girls have no problem relinquishing control, even if they're established. This woman said, hey, and she has a business. She's like, listen, I'm a pharmacist. I make great money. If a man wanted to come and take me off the market and I would give him that control, I would 100% do it. Yep. No problem at all. But then the black women are like, wait a minute. A nigga's going to come and take care of me? No, I'm not trying to do all that.
No, the fuck you didn't.
Right? In her mind, it's... This is why 76% of black women are unmarried. This is why the upper tier brothers are not dating women of color anymore. Pearl, let me get your final thoughts on the mentality of women who want to relinquish control and women who want to be boss bitches. What are your final thoughts on this?
I just think you can't have everything.
Okay.
And women think they can have everything.
Okay.
If you want a guy in the top 20%, then be okay with relinquishing control. Mm-hmm. If you don't, there are plenty of guys that would date these girls.
Yes.
That would be okay with her leading the relationship or doing what she wants. There are an endless supply of simps. I swear. Endless. Respectfully. But, yeah.
Pearl, before you jump off, tell the people where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me on my YouTube channel, which is just Pearly Things, and on Instagram, it's just .pearlythings, and TikTok also, it's just Pearly Things.
Perfect. So shout out to Pearl. She will be on. Well, if your game ends soon enough, she will be on the roundtable panel that we have planned for Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully Pearl can jump in. Even if she's a little bit late, we'd be happy to have her. Pearl, thanks for making time for us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Take care. So it's Pearl's bedtime now because it's it's almost 11 o'clock. So Dev, let me get your final thoughts on what we just watched. Just your final thoughts on all of that.
I mean, all of this sounds really good on paper, but put into practice, it really isn't all that it's cracked up to be. You want to, basically they're just trying to control the narrative and all of these talking points. I want to be independent. I want to control the commitment. I want to control the sex. I want to control everything about this relationship. And then, where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just turning the camera. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. And then wonder why at the end of the day, like, I'm not relaxed, I'm not happy, we're not having sex, all of these other things. I mean, you can't stay attractive to a man when you're acting like a man. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense and how these people are thinking long term.
There we go.
Hey.
I just wanted to make sure I got you in the shot there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I rearranged the studio as you can see. I cleaned out that supply closet.
I cannot see the doors closed, but I take your word for it.
Okay,
you
very
talked
good.
about it for 2 weeks. So.
All right, let's see here. Let me go to camera 3. There we are. All right, cool. So we're both in the shot.